We can now start adding in loop cut to support the edges we have on our mesh. This is to help define the shape of the guide mesh with the help of the subdivision surface modifier. So let's start adding in these edge loops. I'm going to start in the front section here. So I'm going to define this edge here with extra loop cuts. So I'm just going to press Ctrl and R in here, and I'm going to press E to align it with the one on the right and move it close to about there. Let me just move it a little bit more closer. I'm going to add in another one up here as well. Press E and then align it as close as the first one, like that. I can see this one goes all the way through. We don't want that. So I'm going to deselect all the vertices we have here, except that one. I'm going to press X and disable the edges. I'm just going to use the knife tool and then cut this from here. I'm not sure why it's doing that. Okay, let me get into full screen view here and then zoom in into this area. And let's try using the knife tool again. Okay, so I'm just going to left click here and then drag it all the way to there and then left click to confirm it. Very nice. I'm going to take this and merge it to this one here by pressing M and then say at last. I'm going to take this vertex here. I want to slide it back a bit to about somewhere here like this. And I'll take this and slide this back to about there. I'll take this one as well, slide it back a bit. Let's take these two and slide them back a bit. I'll slide this here a bit, slide that there a bit. Let me take all of the vertices we have here, including this one, and slide them forward just a bit like that. Let me get back into camera view and get out of full screen and see what we have. Now let's enable the subdivision surface modifier and see what this looks like. Now if you take a look at the reference image, you can see that the edge runs from here all the way to about here, and then it just dissolves into a surface. So it doesn't look like an edge anymore. Let me hide this so we can see this better. So you can see the edge ends around somewhere here. So that's what we're going to try and achieve. To do this, let's bring back our mesh and go into edit mode. The best thing we can do here is to take these vertices here and slide them to the right to about somewhere in the middle here. And I want to take these ones as well and slide them to the left to about somewhere here like that. And I'm pretty sure that should help with that area a bit more. Let's get out of full screen. So the next edge I'm going to support is the one we have over here. Let me disable the subdivision surface modifier. I'm just going to press Ctrl and R to add in an edge in here. I'm going to press E and then F to align with the one on the left and bring it to about there. I'm going to deselect the ones we have up here. I'm going to press X and dissolve the ones we have down here. I'm going to add in one up here as well. Press E and then move it to about there. Now I'm going to take these two and press M and then say at last. I'm just going to slide this one down a bit like that. I'm going to have to add some on the inside as well. Let me get into full screen here and out of camera view. I'm going to press Ctrl and R to add one in here like that. I'm going to press Ctrl and R here as well. And as you can see, it runs all the way through to the other side. So the best thing we can do is to take this vertex and then hide it. And then press Ctrl and R, press E, align it to the one at the bottom, and then left click to confirm it. Press Alt and H to bring this back. I'm just going to take this and this and press J to join them. Let me just slide this in a bit, like so. Okay, very nice. I'm just going to take all of these and then slide them in a bit like that. I'll take all of that and slide that in as well, a bit like that. I'm going to take the ones up here as well and slide them in a bit more, like so. Alright. Now we have to define this corner here as well. If we look in the reference image, which I'm going to switch to the front one, you can see we have it as a soft corner over here. It's not too sharp. So we don't have to define it with two edge loops. One should be fine. I'm going to add it on the left side. So I'm going to get out of camera view. I'm going to press Ctrl and R in here. I'm going to press E to align it to the one on the right. I want to move it to about somewhere there. Maybe a little closer. I'm going to dissolve all the ones below by deselecting the ones up here. I'm going to press X and dissolve the edges. I'm going to take this one and then this one second, and I'm going to press M and then merge it at last. Now let me just get out of full screen and enable the subdivision surface modifier and see what we have here. Okay, looking good. Let me just shade smooth and see what it looks like. Let's shade this back to flat. Let's disable the subdivision surface modifier. The next edge we're going to define is this area right here. So let me go into edit mode. Let me press Ctrl and R in here and press E and then F to align it to the one on the left and move it close to about somewhere there. I'm going to add one more in here as well. You can see it goes all the way through. We don't want that. So let's just add it in to about there. And then deselect the ones on the left, like so, up to there. And then dissolve the edges that runs to the right. I'm going to do the same thing here, like so. Deselect the ones down here. And then dissolve the edges. I'm going to take 1, 2, 3. The middle one is going to be the last selection. I want to press M and then say at last. I'm just going to take this and slide it to about here and slide it up a bit, like so. Now I think what I'll do in this area here, I'm going to take this edges here and dissolve that edge, like so. Now I'm going to take this and merge it to this vertex we have over here. So we have a weird shape over here. I'm going to do the same thing here. So I'm going to take these two, dissolve the edges, and then take that one and merge it to the one we have over here. So we have a weird shape going on here. It won't cause any problems. So let's enable our subdivision surface modifier and see what we have. Let me just shade this smooth and see what it looks like. All right, looking good. I'm going to shade it back to flat and disable the subdivision surface modifier. All right, now the next edge we're going to support is the one over here. So I'm going to press Ctrl and R in here and press E to align it to the one at the top, like so. I'm going to left click to confirm it. I'm going to deselect the ones in the middle, so up to here, including this one. I'm going to press X and dissolve the edges. I'm going to take this and merge it to the one up here by pressing M and then choosing at last. I'm going to do the same thing up here, align it close to it like so, deselect these ones, and then dissolve the rest we have over here. Now I'm going to take these and merge it at last. Very nice. Let's enable the subdivision and see what this looks like. Okay, not bad. The next edge we're going to support is this area right here. If I should show us the side view, this is the area I'm talking about. So let's get out of camera view and see how we can do this area. So I'm going to add in an edge loop on the left side here all the way to the top with a combination of Ctrl and R and then using a knife tool to continue our way up. I'm just going to take these two vertices and press M to merge them to say maybe at last. Now I'm going to take these ones as well, merge it to the last one. I'm just going to get up here. I'm going to press Ctrl and R in here, press E to align it with the one below and move it to about some point here. I'm just going to slide this back a bit and then a little bit out. I'm going to take these two vertices and press J. Now this edge loop should make its way all the way to the top side here, and that's good. Now let's see how we can add one in here. So for this area, I'm just going to use a knife tool. So I'm going to press K on our keyboard to bring up the knife tool. I'm going to left click here first, and then start making our way to the top. Okay, we have a bit of an issue here. So I'm just going to confirm this, and then continue our way up. Another issue here, so confirm it, and then continue our way up. Now just like we did with the top, we're going to press Ctrl and R in here to add in a loop cut to about here. Let's see where the loop cuts go. So it goes all the way to the right. We don't want that happening. So I'm just going to deselect the ones on the left. And then from here on out, we're just going to press X and then dissolve the edges. I'm just going to press Ctrl and R in here, press E, and then move it close like that. I'm just going to take this in not 1 second, and I'm going to press M and then merge it at last. I'll just slide this up a bit, slide this down a bit, and then slide this down just a bit. I'm going to take the rest of them up here and then slide them in a bit like that. Now we can take 1 and 2 and press J to join them. I'm just going to take this one and then slide it down a bit. Take this as well and slide it down a bit. I think I'll just dissolve this edge we have over here. And then I'll dissolve this edge as well. So we have a weird shape here. Let me just use the knife tool and add an edge in here, like so. I'm just going to slide this one up a bit to about there. I'm going to add in an edge loop on the inside here as well to support this edge we have over here. So just like we did with the left side, I'm going to use a knife tool. Now let's take these two vertices and merge them at the center. I'm going to do the same with these ones as well. And then down here, I'm going to merge this at last. I'm just going to slide it down a bit like that. Now let's see what we can do up here. I'm just going to take this vertex and this 1 second, and I'm going to hit J to join them. Let me take these two vertices and slide them back to about here. I'll take this one and slide it to about there. I'm just going to add in an extra loop cut on the right side as well to support it. I'm going to press Ctrl and R here. I'm going to press E and then F to align it with the left one, and then move it close like that. Now we don't want this being close to each other because then it's going to create a crease in this area here. So the best thing we can do is to take all of these, slide it to about here, deselect this, slide that one to about there, and that should be good. Let's enable the subdivision surface modifier and see what this looks like. Okay, looking good. Let's shade it smooth and see what we can do here. Let me take these two and dissolve it and see what that looks like. Okay, so let's now make a triangle here. Let's keep it just where it is right now. Now let me take a look at this area. I'm going to take this and then press Alt and S and then shrink it out a bit. Like that. Okay, looks really good. Let me disable the subdivision surface modifier and let's shade this flat. Now let's make our way to the front side here. When we added in the loop cut, it didn't continue all the way to the left side. So I'm going to take these vertices here and then press X and dissolve the edges. I'm going to manually add in that edge, like so. I'm going to take these two and merge it at last. I'm just going to slide this up a bit and slide this down and slide this up just a bit, and that should be good. Let's see what that looks like with the subdivision surface modifier. Okay, still have something to fix in this area. I'm just going to take this vertex here. Let me zoom into this area. I'm going to press Alt and S and then shrink it out to about somewhere there. So shrink it out like a lot, just like I have right now. Now let's get out and see what this looks like. I'm going to shade smooth and see what it looks like. Not bad. I'm going to take these ones as well. Let me just slide it down a bit and then shrink that out a bit like so as well. Okay, looking good. Let me see this side. I'm just going to shrink it out a bit. Let me take this and slide it down and then up a bit like so. Shrink it out a bit more. Let me just take this and press Alt and S and shrink it out just a bit. I'm shrinking things by using the Alt S button. I'm just going to shrink this out a bit more like that. Okay, I think it looks good. So just like we did with the front, we're going to add in respective loop cuts to define this area more. But before we do anything, I'm going to take this vertex and then I'm going to take this vertex and I'm going to hit J to join them. So you can see the difference. Now let's start adding in some loop cuts here. Now this area here, I'm just going to join it from here to there with the knife tool. I'm going to take this and take that second. I'm going to press M and merge it at last. I'm just going to slide it up a bit. Over here, I'm just going to press Ctrl and R, press E, and then F, align it to the right side, and move it to about there. I'm just going to deselect the ones below, up to somewhere here. And I'm just going to dissolve the rest of the edges. I'll take this and move it in a bit more. I'm going to add in a loop cut in here as well by using the knife tool. I'm just going to press K and then knife it from this vertex, move it all the way to here first, and then make our way down. I'm just going to use the knife tool and then knife this from here to there. And I'm just going to slide this in a bit like so. Now let's see what we can do about this area here. So I think I'm going to dissolve these edges here. And I think I'm going to dissolve these ones as well, just so that area looks much nicer. Okay, very nice. Now let's make our way here. I'm going to press Ctrl and R in here to add in a loop cut to about there. I'm going to dissolve these edges. I'm going to take this vertex and merge it to this one down here, like that. I'm going to dissolve the edges from here to here. I'm going to press Ctrl and R in here and add in the second supporting edge loop. Deselect all of these and then dissolve the one on the left. Now I'm going to merge this to that. Now let's make our way here. Now first of all, let's define this area. So I'm going to press Ctrl and R through here and press E and then F. Align it to the right side and move it close like that. I'm going to deselect the ones below and dissolve the edges we have up here. I'm going to use the knife tool and then knife this from here to there. And I'm just going to knife it up here just to keep a space between that area, because this area here is not sharp. If we go into the reference image, you can see what I mean. It's only sharp up to this side. Put in some space in here to make sure the edge here is not sharp. I'm just going to take this and then merge it to the one at the top. Alright, now let's work on the inside here. I'm going to use the knife tool for this side. So I'm just going to press K to enable the knife tool. Now let's add in the supporting edge loops on this side. So I'm going to press Ctrl and R in here and press E and then F, align it to the one on the inside, then move it as close like this. Now let's adding on the outside as well. So I'm going to press Ctrl and R, press E, and move it close like so. So I'm just going to select all of these edges and dissolve it. I'm going to press Ctrl and R here, press E, and then F, move it like so. Dissolve all of these and take 1, 2, 3. The middle one should be the last selected. I'm going to press M and then say at last. Now this area here, let's see how we can add in the edge loop. So I'm just going to use the knife tool here. I'm going to knife it from here all the way to this vertex here. I'm going to make it down here to here and then to there. I want to make our way down. Okay, here I'm just going to press Ctrl and R, press E and then F. Align it with the one below. I'm just going to take these two and press J to join them. I'm just going to take this and slide it down to about here. And take this and slide it down to about, let's slide it down a bit more to about there. Alright, very nice. Let me take these, get to the side, and I'm just going to press G and move it up a bit like that. I'm going to take these as well, press G, and move that here like so. I think I'm going to fix this area a bit more. So I'm going to take the edges from here to there. I'm just going to press G and then X and move it in the X axis a bit. Let's see what that looks like. Okay, not bad. Let me just take these two and move them in a bit. Not bad. Let me just take this and shrink it out a bit. I'll take this and I'm going to shrink that out a bit. Let me take these two and shrink it out a bit. Maybe move it in the Y axis a bit. Let me just take this, move it in the X a bit. Move this in the X a bit to the inside. I'm just going to take this and slide it up a bit. I'm going to press Ctrl and R and add in an edge loop to the top like that. I'm going to add in one over here as well. Should go all the way through to the bottom, so that's good. I'm going to add one in here as well. Should go all the way to the left side. So let's just deselect these and dissolve this edge here. I'm going to press Ctrl and R in here move it close to that area like that. And I'm just going to use the knife tool and then knife it from here to there. I'll take this, slide it back a bit to about here. And I'll take this and merge it to the last one here. Now let's go ahead and enable the mirror modifier and see what the whole thing looks like. Alright, looking good. I want to try and fix this area a bit more. I think we have a bit of an issue here. Yeah. So I'm going to take this and slide this to about here. Slide this in. Let me take this and shrink it in a bit. Let's see what we have. Let me take this, shrink this out a bit, shrink this out a bit, and shrink this out a bit. I'm going to slide this in a bit to about there. Maybe a little further inside. I'm going to press Alt and S and shrink it out. Let me take this and shrink it out a bit. I'm going to take these two here and shrink them out a bit like that. I'm going to shrink these out a bit more. Now let me take this, slide this in. Let me slide this in. Okay. Shrink this in a bit, shrink this in, shrink this out. I'm just trying to do my best and fix this area so it looks much nicer. Okay, I think we can get away with that. Now the last thing we'll do here is we'll take the edges down here. I want to press E and then Z to extrude this down to about here. I'm going to press Ctrl and R in here and then add in a loop cut to the top about here.